Okay, today we are ranking every single Everton signing that has been made since I started really supporting the club to the point where I was never missing a match and, it took over my whole life, which we all know. So we're going to go through the good, bad, and the ugly. We've got five categories here: incredible signing, good signing, not good but not bad signing, poor signing, and then absolute failure, which I know we all have a lot of names in our mind for this category. This is my personal opinion. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions in the comments. What things you would switch around, where I went wrong in your opinion. And yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, starting things off incredibly strong with Prince Umar in the winter transfer window of 2015-16. Such mixed feelings. Like, came in and it was very obvious. I think his first appearance was the 2-0 up at West Ham, and then we ended up losing 3-2 under Martinez. I think people kind of realized real quick how poor he was quality wise, and wasn't cut out for the Premier League. Obviously, all the stuff happened with Koeman, and his redemption arc was probably my most prideful. Is that a word? Like, it was a very emotional and rewarding experience to have him come out from the cold, score the brace at Bournemouth, score in the cup against Sunderland, kind of stick it to Koeman because we all hated Ronald Koeman at the time, and ended up getting eight, 8 or 9 goals in open play that season. So actually, it was a big part in us staying up. So ultimately, it was a very, very irresponsible signing. So I'm gonna stick him in poor signing. It kind of worked out in the end, and then he kind of just faded away because everyone agreed, like, thanks for everything, but you're not good enough. So Prince Umar goes into poor signing, unfortunately, but a club legend, in my opinion. Yannick Bolasie. I'm, God, I'm going to have to throw him in poor signing. Very skillful player, very fun to watch, but obviously got injured at United real early in the season. He was linking up with Rom really nicely. They got a few goals and assists together. But yeah, that injury obviously set him back. He went off to loan to Villa and forget where else he landed, but never really amounted to much at the club. Came back, I think assisted Cenk Tosun in the 2-1 win at Stoke in the winter, if anyone remembers the snowstorm blizzard that happened that game. But yeah, it just wasn't really recovered from his injury. It kind of ruined his career. So he was all big price tag too, 28 million. So ultimately, I have to put him in poor signing. Ademola Lookman, I'm going to put him in not good, not bad signing. He never, here's the thing, he played under so many managers and he was never first choice. He was never a priority for any manager that he played under here, at Everton at least. And never really scored goals or assists. He would just make cameos off the bench, but by that time, he was usually too late in the game to do anything or make an impact. Went off to Leicester and Fulham, took the worst penalty ever at Fulham, the Panenka, right into the keeper's hands. Obviously won the Europa League with Atalanta the other year, scoring the hat trick. So glad that he's done well now. But yeah, scoring against City on his debut was probably the worst thing he could have ever done because the expectations were just ridiculous at that point. So I'm gonna have to put him there. Next up, we have Ashley Williams, who everyone remembers, the classic Ashley Williams, because he would give so many goals away. I'm going to have to put him in not good, not bad. I think his first year, 16-17, he was linking up with, God, who was our center back primarily? It was probably Jags at the time. I thought he was a good center back. I don't really know why other teams weren't in for him. Swansea was like a mid-table club, and he was doing well. So I think in that regard, it was a good smart signing. But just it ended so horribly, getting himself sent off in the Europa League against Lyon. Just like trying to make us angry pretty much. So, if it weren't for that, I'd say it was a good signing. But his career just absolutely slipped, and he just was like sabotaging us ultimately. So got to put him right in the middle of the road there. Next, we're going to go for Morgan Schneiderlin, who is going to go in the poor signing. Again, started off pretty well, was pretty solid in midfield, scored at West Brom. But just again, at that point, after the goal at West Brom, which I think we won the game, was clearly a Koeman signing. Like, Koeman loved him. But never chipped in with goals or assists. I think it was him who got himself sent off at Burnley. in the league. It was the same era of the Ashley Williams sabotage. And yeah, just quickly became, a positive player to a very negative player, which none of us liked. So he's going in the poor signing. I think he was also 20 million. I think he got shipped off to France after, but yeah, not great. Martin Stecklenburg. Oh man, I'll have to put him in the not good, not bad. So Martin Stecklenburg was battling back and forth, if I recall, with Joel Robles for that number one spot. Stecklenburg actually had, I'll say to this day, the best goalkeeping performance I've ever seen in my life against City when he saved in the 1-1, when he saved 2 penalties and probably had 3, 4, 5 worldy saves. Like, was just on a different level that day. And single-handedly got us a point in that game. So I don't remember where we signed him from, Fulham or Southampton or something, but he was like £1 million and wasn't good enough to be a number one. He's past his prime, but, is a goalkeeper, so can't really say much. Not good, not bad for me. Idrissa Gana Gueye, our first incredible signing from Villa in 16-17. Obviously, he got relegated the year prior, and we never replaced him until we signed him again, and he's back here in the list somewhere, so just incredible. Like N'Golo Kante without the price tag, pretty much. But I think he's actually got more skills, which you've seen over the years. At first, he was just like, putting out fires and running around the pitch, being in the right place at the right time all the time. But then in recent years, he's getting goals, forward passes in the final third and stuff like that. So I love Ghana. I'm so glad he's back. I don't know if we'll give him another year. I would like to give him another year. But we got to start thinking of the future, who we're going to replace him with. So going to put him in incredible signing. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I'm throwing in the good signing. I don't think he's incredible, but he's been a hell of a servant over the years. Signed him for nothing from Sheff United, and scored his first goal against Hull in 16-17. I think Barkley scored as well. If that was the 2-2, I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, he scored so many goals over the years. I love Dom personally. I think he's a great striker. Unfortunately, the past couple of years have been riddled with injuries, to say the least. And, I think he gets some harsh treatment because when he comes in, you see the quality and how much of an improvement he is in the air, the hold-up play. He's got good turn of pace, in my opinion. It's just his finishing lately has been pretty embarrassing to the point where I understand some of the stick he gets. Okay, next we have Enner Valencia, who we signed on loan from West Ham, I believe in the winter window. And he's in one of these. I think he scored 1 goal at Southampton in a 3-0 win. But that's it. He might have scored a second. I'll put him in not good, not bad. He was just a spot filler. We needed a striker on the bench. We didn't really have anyone at the time. And not much else to say. Just a whatever signing. Moving on, 2017-18 season, we got Gylfi Sigurdsson. Obviously, it ended the way it did, which isn't good at all. But I'm gonna put him in good signing. Now, the only thing that kind of holds him back, well, on the pitch at least, is his price tag, which isn't his fault, but it seemed kind of odd that no one else was in for him, yet we still paid $45 million. However, he came in with a lot of goals and a lot of assists. He was a bit of a talisman for us, a bit of a maverick, and he excelled with us. I think he was better for us than he was for Swansea, and for that reason, I think he's a good signing. It cost a lot, but he performed for us. Michael Keane, Keno, the best finisher at the club the last 10 years, well, besides Lukaku. He is going to go into poor signing. He started off strong. I thought he was good at Burnley, so I was excited when we signed him. But just like the mistakes, he's never been able to get the mistakes out of his game. I don't know what it is, but I've never seen a center back have such lack of awareness defensively. He just never knows when someone's behind him. He never knows where the striker is. Like, he's just lost always. And there's that whole situation when Koeman was playing him on, crazy pain meds, and so that's why he looked loopy and delusional and his concentration wasn't there. Fair enough. But you kind of have to hold it against the whole situation. So amazing goals he's pulled up with, like hilariously good, like the Ipswich goal this year. Unbelievable finish, but yeah, just such a liability. That's probably the best word to describe him, liability. When he came on the other week after Tarky got injured, liability. He's the reason we collapsed that game. All right, moving on. Jordan Pickford, probably my favorite player that we've ever signed, and an absolutely incredible signing. Excuse me, the most, in my opinion, I'm biased, obviously, but the most underrated keeper in the league. The saves that he's made are just like immaculate. Like he's the reason the past couple seasons, in my opinion, that we've stayed up. The clean sheets and just the defensive, like his shot stopping is just unbelievable. He's so quick to get back on his feet, to react. I think he's just an amazing signing. He's England's number one. And yeah, probably one of the best signings in the last 10 years easily. Moving on, Davy Klaassen. This one has no choice but to go an absolute failure. I wanted this to work so badly. 20 goals, 20 assists for Ajax the year prior was great. This is right when we got into Europa League, so we needed a bigger squad. This was the idea that he was going to play in the Cups in Europa League at the very least, and he would be at a different pace. But man, he was so out of his depth in the Premier League. Games would just pass him by. He just looked like a lost puppy, like could not compete physically, could not keep up with the pace. Like as a midfielder, you have to be on a 180 pivot, or I guess even a 360 pivot, and he just was getting closed down way too fast for his liking. No goals, no assists, maybe one assist as far as I know. But yeah, just wow, out of his depth. So absolute failure. Cost 20 million too. Don't know where he's at now. I think he's back at Ajax, but Davy Klaassen, everyone. Theo Walcott, signed in the winter window by Sam Allardyce, I believe. And I'll put him in not good, not bad. Cost 20 million. He was past his prime, but he had pace and just attacking ability, which is something we lacked. Obviously, it was the 17-18 season when we sold Rom and we were trying to, buy a million attacking players and none of them stuck. Theo was a player that got some important goals, 3-2 at Watford when we were down 2-0, and he came back. I think that was a season or two later. But scored in the last minute when we were down to 10 men. Scored a header against Villa to equalize. Just got some important, moments for us. So put him in not good, not bad. But, not the best signing we had. Speaking of not the best signing we've had, I'm going to put Cenk Tosun in poor signing. Again, another player I wanted to work real badly, but just such an odd, I don't even know, build, I guess you would call it. He wasn't big. He's probably 6 foot, big in Premier League standards. He wasn't fast at all. His first touch was okay. His shooting was okay. But just it didn't really make sense what kind of striker he was. Was he a target man? No, he wasn't big or strong enough. Is he like a ball over the top kind of player? No, he didn't have any pace. Scored some important goals. Like I spoke of earlier, he got the brace at Stoke away when we won 2-1 and scored against Brighton, scored a couple other goals. The Spurs, that was him. The Spurs goal, and Andre Gomez broke his ankle to tie in the last minute. So big price tag too. I think we got some money back for him, but 28 million or something at the time. God, yeah, poor signing, not great. Vlasic, Nikola Vlasic. I think it's Nikola, right? You got to put him in this. You see, this is such an awkward era. We signed him from Hajduk Split. It's just, again, what kind of player was he? Was he an attacking midfielder? Was he a box-to-box? Was he a winger? He didn't really play much for us. I think he scored against Limassol in Europa League, but never achieved anything. Went off to West Ham, he was okay. Went out to CSKA Moscow, I think, and did well, beat Real Madrid in the Champions League, scored a goal, but just was never involved for us. What kind of player was he? I still don't know to this day, and I don't think they had a plan either. But he wasn't like a terrible player. He just didn't make sense. Henry Onyekuru, yes. You probably forgot about Henry Onyekuru, the legend. Got to put in poor signing. I mean, what was the point? Like, he never ended up getting a visa, so he didn't play for us, never kicked a ball. I think we sold him to Galatasaray for 11 million and we bought him for 9 million, so ultimately we made a profit, but just like a real pointless what could have been but never was signing. Like, yeah, Henry Onyekuru goes into poor signing. Sandro Ramirez. We're still in 2017-18. We signed so many players. Absolute failure signing. Bought him from Malaga, Barcelona Youth Academy, and player, I should say. And yeah, never scored a goal for us. I don't think he got an assist either. He scored in preseason against Sevilla. And I thought he looked promising in that regard, but just, yeah, never amounted to anything. Couldn't keep up with the pace. Again, what kind of striker was he? He wasn't fast enough to be a ball over the top. He wasn't a target man. Some of these players, they just come into the league and it just doesn't suit them whatsoever. So you have to say he was nothing less than a failure. Cuco Martina, another failure signing. Notice a trend and a pattern about this transfer window. Ironically, he was half decent when he had to switch to left back because I think Baines got injured. He was half decent, actually got 3 assists in like the second half of the season, I think. I have a feeling he knew he wasn't great, but he was kind of bombed in because we didn't have any other options. We had John Joe Kenny, I think, and he was playing right back because everyone else was injured, so Kuka had to go to left back. Yeah, just didn't even look like a footballer, to be honest. He didn't look like he was either-footed. Like Dwight McNeil is left-footed 100%, and he's got 0% right foot. Cuco Martina looked like he had like 10% both feet. He just looked like real awkward Bambi on ice, like terrible signing, failure signing. Wayne Rooney. I think Wayne Rooney was a good signing. 10 million, or I guess it was a free transfer, but it was included in the Lukaku deal. I'm not from the city, obviously, so the political stuff, the background, the lore, that didn't affect me as far as, you know, why he left in the first place and how he treated, you know, the city and Everton and kissing the United badge and all that. That was kind of out the window for me. I didn't recognize that and acknowledge it. But I loved Wayne Rooney as a kid, and I've loved him my whole life. So having him back was great. Scored 10, 11 goals for us. Scored the hat tricks, some big moments, and publicity-wise and marketing-wise, I think it was a good signing too. So kind of a one-and-done season because I think they knew we had to do bigger and better things with youthful players, so got shipped out. But I think it was a good signing personally. Eliakim Mangala, or Eliakim, I don't know how you say his name. Comically failure of a signing. Got him on loan from City. Played 5 minutes of a game and then did his knee and was out for the rest of the season. And went back, and then I think they got rid of him as quick as they could. Just looked like what was he doing here? We didn't really even see him, but you can't put him anywhere else. Just it was such a failure, that whole deal. So yeah, failure signing. Richarlison, can't go anywhere but incredible signing. In my opinion, a cult hero. He's the reason I think we stayed up a couple seasons ago. He said halfway during the season, I am going to keep us up. And the amount of goals he scored in big games, obviously the Palace game, the 3-2 when we came back and won, stuff like that. Just like, what a hero. Absolute hero. Love Richie to death. Hope he comes back this summer. Hopefully Spurs let him go for us. And yeah, incredible signing. Luka Dean. I think Luka Dean was also an incredible signing. I think for once the club did a good job at integrating a replacement for a player that we knew was going to be out soon, which was Bainesy. Came in, didn't play right away, got some appearances, some cup appearances, and we saw instantly how good. Had good pace, had incredible positioning and movement, weighed in with a bunch of goals and assists, was just a player that was on a different level. Like, you could tell he came from Barcelona and I forget where else he was, Roma, PSG. you could just tell that he had been playing around better players than what we had, and he just excelled. And it's a shame that Rafa bombed him out, and he's at where he's at today. Villa doing well, so more power to him. Next, we have Yerry Mina. This window as a whole was pretty good, so Yerry Mina, it's a tough one because he was so injured, like always injured. But when he played, he was good, but I'm still going to put him in not good, not bad, because it ended, he was just too injured, so we had to let him go. I don't know how he ended up doing at Fiorentina, but he was great in the air, incredible on set pieces, dark arts, loved the club too, and, all the Everton in the community days and stuff, he was always a big part of that, so love Yerry, but didn't really work out that well for him. Kurt Zuma on loan, not good, not bad. He was okay. I actually did want to sign him the following season, but Chelsea didn't want to let him go for whatever reason. They kept him, but didn't really play him that much the following season. The one moment I remember is him running into Jordan Pickford because neither of them could decide who was going to clear the ball. And then whoever it was we were playing scored, and it was really embarrassing. So he's okay. He kicks cats nowadays, or at least he did. And don't know where he's at, but decent signing. Nothing special, though, in my opinion. Andre Gomez, another middle-of-the-road signing, in hindsight. When he came here on loan, the same season as, 18-19, as some other players from Barcelona, Yerry and Luka Dean, he had a really good first season. He was fluid. He was very, very responsible on the ball. He was like an 8 that would get pucks to box. He would keep the play ticking. He had a good range of passing. And then broke his ankle, came back, never really looked like the same player. Never weighed in with goals and assists, which I thought was kind of weird because he wasn't like a defensive player. But there were certain games. The Arsenal where Damari Gray scored the screamer against the post, the 2-1, when Andre Gomez came on in like the 75th, 80th minute, changed the game, like completely changed the game. But it just didn't end great. He wasn't that great for us in the end. So not good, not bad signing for me. Next up, we have Bernard. It's a tough one. He was a free transfer, but he was on big money. I think he was on 120 grand a week, which is pretty irresponsible for us to give a player. But again, I'm going to have to put him in not good, not bad. I think what it comes down to is that he wasn't cut out for the Premier League. He just wasn't built for it. He's probably 5'4", 115 pounds, 120 pounds. Skillful as anything, had some really nice plays, some flicks, scored some big, important goals for us, actually. Watford and United and West Ham. But just didn't have that extra special thing to, like, really make him a Premier League player. I don't think it was a bad signing, but, he did a job, just wasn't what we needed. Alex Iwobi, I actually think it was a good signing, based on the fact that we needed this kind of player. A player that could link up midfield and attack, weigh in with goals and assists. He was never amazing, but he was also bombed out on the right wing way too often, in my opinion, instead of playing centrally. But we had Gylfi and Tom Davies and other players that were trying to get into that 10 position, or at least an 8 position. So I understand why he's bombed out on the right, but I think he would have excelled for us a lot better through the middle. And he's doing well for Fulham. Ironically, Marco Silva took him at Fulham, even though he was the one playing him out of position all the time. But and then people always inflate the price we paid for him. Like, it was 35 million. It wasn't 50 million or anything. I think Iwobi was a good signing. Didn't work out amazingly, but good signing nonetheless, in my opinion. Next up, we have Moise Kean. This is a player from day one, I didn't understand the hype behind him. I just don't think he offered really anything. He looked way too eager without knowing how to play. Went off on loan. He just seemed like he was trying too hard, and that was the reason why nothing was working. Scored against Newcastle, scored against Bournemouth, but yeah, didn't have a great attitude, I think, personally. I saw a couple live streams where he was just really mad about living in Liverpool, and he hated being in the north, and it was such a boring city and blah, blah, blah. So we made money on him somehow, He's doing well for Fiorentina now. Next, we have Jean-Philippe Gabamin, who is a rat and a failure signing. Stole a wage from us for years, was constantly injured. I think surely in this list, the most injured player that we've ever had. Like, played like 3 games over the span of 3 years, 3.5 years or whatever it was. Talked poorly about the club and the fans. Was just like a nothing player. Came on, wasn't really his fault. I think, I don't know who brought him on, but we lost the game once he came on. He just wasn't up to the pace of Premier League football once he came on back from injury once and for all. And yeah, failure signing. Didn't like him. We'll leave it at that. Fabian Delph signed from City for $8 million. He just was past his prime. Didn't really look like he cared. Like he was just there to pick up a wage. Was okay for us. Got that red card against, might have been Watford in the game where we won 3-2, where we came back. I believe it was that game. And yeah, just a bit of a pointless signing. Didn't really work out in the end. I understood what they were trying to do, but just didn't really work out. Okay, up next we have Djibril Sidibe. Infamously was subbed on and forgot his socks. We all remember that. I actually think he was a good signing. I think offensively he was a good player. Got 5, 6, 7 assists that season. Had a great delivery. Had great pace. And like, again, kind of like Dean. Good positioning. Whipped a bunch of balls in the box. And excelled around good players, which we had at that time. This was under Carlos. So, yeah, he was a good signing. I kind of wanted to sign him permanently, but we never ended up doing that. And it is what it is. But I think it was actually a good signing. Next, we have Jared Branthwaite, which I'm putting instantly an incredible signing. £1 million from Carlisle. I think this was Marcel Brand's like key signing that he made in his time here. It's just so good. I don't think he'll go to United anymore because why would you? Like they're in a terrible place right now as far as a club. I couldn't see who else would get him. No one else really needs a center back now. He wouldn't go to Liverpool. I would hope not, at least. And yeah, hopefully he stays. But if not, I understand. And God, he's just so good on the ball. Scoring goals too. Pulled up last season with a lot of big goals. And yeah, just really bright. Looks like he likes the club, so hopefully he stays. And really happy with Jared Branthwaite's development. Jonas Lursel. Put him in poor signing. He never kicked the ball for us as far as I recall. Just a bit of a pointless signing. I understand he was like duking it out for the number 2 position, but never ended up playing, so what's the point? I'll leave it at that. Ben Godfrey. This is a tough one. I'm going to put Ben Godfrey in good signing. Those tackles in like the first season or two, he was just fearless. Like absolutely fearless. And he had balls of steel, and he was winning every 50-50. He was so aggressive. He had that recovery pace, which meant we could play higher up the pitch. I remember when we played, I think it was Carlo that played the 4 center backs across the back because of injuries, but it ended up working, and we could play higher, and Ben Godfrey had great recovery. And as far as defending goes, never scored a goal for us or got an assist, but as far as defending goes, was a great defender. And just like what happened to him? Like it just kind of just never worked. He was just never first choice, and kind of trickled down the pecking order and went to Atalanta and never really got game time. Now he's on loan at Ipswich. They got relegated. Don't really think he played much either. But I thought for us personally, he was a good signing.